It's Tuesday, July 29th. Welcome to Scouting the League. One of the hardest things to hear when working for a role in industry, but especially so in the scouting world, is not what you know, but it's who you know. Great if you're the son of a coach, a personnel executive, or have connections in a building. But for so many who want a chance, including myself, gaining those connections is incredibly difficult. So, with the Personnel and Recruiting Symposium on the slate for next week in Nashville, we talk networking, connections, and working relationships here on Scouting the League. But before we jump in, let me remind you to go like, subscribe, share this podcast wherever you are listening and watching, whether it's over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our video version over on YouTube. If you're at our home over at profootballinsiders.com, make sure you share it with a friend. Hit those like and subscribe buttons. Follow myself, follow Neil, follow Pro Football Insiders. You can find any of us anywhere you want to look. I am at Right Step ADV. Neil is at Inside the League, and our home, Pro Football Insiders, is on X at pro_FB_insiders. Subscribe on YouTube, give us some clicks, give us some shares, and like us. Communicate with us, comment, leave us notes, leave us thoughts as we have our fantastic guests, both the previous guests and upcoming guests that are really going to be fun. In tomorrow's episode, we get Kalen Kaler of ESPN talking all about the NFLPA situation, as we'll call it. What has happened? How did the story start? And where is it going next? And then next week, we will get to hear from we'll call him inventor extraordinaire, the man that is going to change the game when it comes to insoles and turf toe, specifically Stuart Jenkins of Blue Mock. It's going to be a really fun, fascinating conversation. You want to listen to that one so you can get that discount code for those insoles that I can tell you firsthand, they are fantastic. We'll talk all about that next week, though. But let's get back to it today. So, the Recruiting and Personnel Symposium, presented by Teamworks, is next week in Nashville, Tennessee. Like I said, yours truly will be there, along with my co-host and a man that will stand above so many, Neil Stratton. Yes, he is a little bit taller than the average man, while I am not. But either way, you can come find us, shake our hands, please say hello. After that, though, use the time to network and connect. Working relationships matters. And if you want to work in this industry, it is doubly so important. It is something that I acknowledge I was not good at all at the beginning of my career as a pro scout. You're really isolated. You're locked in a building, as we've talked about. You're on the road. Is I got out into the Midwest, it really took me about a full year to realize how important it was, not just with sources, but with fellow scouts and people in the industry. It is so, so important. And when you come from outside the NFL, again, I had no connections when I got my first job and started to work those. Again, it is doubly so important. Unfortunately, nepotism in the NFL is real. Good scouts and bad scouts are all employed. We need better evaluation, but that's a different topic. Scouts get starts because, again, it could be dad, it could be uncle, it could be grandpa, it could be any relationship that gets people in the building. Again, one thing if they get in the building and they're good at what they do. Again, I've seen lots of people like that. Again, they get the chance. Maybe they get a chance that somebody else doesn't, but they get in the building, they work hard and do the right things. Great. Those are the people the NFL needs. Unfortunately, along with that nepotism is people that get in the building and ride the wave of, again, we'll say the last name, and really with a tough evaluation process in the NFL for scouts, they just kind of float by. And unfortunately, that is bad for the NFL. The other part of working relationships is, again, DEI is unfortunately alive and well in the NFL hiring circles. I would say it's an embarrassment to a really wrong league that, again, a checkbox is going to get somebody a job over somebody that's qualified, that's done all the right things. Again, if you check a box, aptitude, skill set aside, you're probably going to get a chance. It is something I have told aspiring scouts and people along the way, hey, don't discount it. Use it to your advantage, but then when you get in the building, you better work doubly hard to make sure you're not one of those people that makes that process really look bad. So those two things, again, those are always going to be tough to deal with, especially as you're working from the outside to network, connect. all those kinds of things. But the networking and the connections and relationships are probably going to get you maybe a first interview, get your resume to the top of the stack. And so doing those things, developing those relationships is so important. That's why if you have the chance to get to Nashville next week, there's going to be a lot of those people, maybe not at the NFL level there, but the people that will get you in front of NFL scouts. Again, P4, G5, schools with tradition that are going to have people there. Maybe there's going to be some scouts there. Again, if you find them, if you see them, if you know them, again, be right with that relationship, which can be a really tough balance, but make sure you find them, get with them. Again, as I talked about college programs, any college program that you can be a part of, that you can start networking within. And that was my start at The Ohio State University when I was in graduate school. Again, relationships, it took me about a year and a half to develop, allowed me to have about a 6-month internship under D-line coach Mike Vrabel at the time. From there, again, I met Scott Pioli. Scott Pioli was with the Falcons a short time later. That's how I end up with a job in Atlanta. Again, an internship in Tennessee in 2013, a relationship that I had been working since about 2011 when I was at Nebraska Wesleyan University with a scout on that Titan staff. Again, you're talking 3, 4, 5 years working relationships before maybe you get that first chance. But again, along the way, I had jobs with a Power 4, again, one of the premier Power 4 schools in Ohio State. And then before I coached at a Division III school, Case Western, which head coach Greg Debelak had great ties from John Carroll to that whole John Carroll pipeline. Again, great connection I had. And my guy out there in LA with the Chargers, again, he knows all about that. Knowing people matters. And again, using those connections and then being good, working hard, all those things absolutely matter. Football, it's doubly so important. As you're heading out to the conference, if you're one of these young, aspiring scouts that, hey, I want to get in with the team, again, NFL, college, Power 4 group, whatever it is, let me tell you up front, reports don't matter. Don't walk around handing out, hey, these are all my reports of the 2026 draft class. Ultimately, they don't matter. Again, do we want to maybe see some good writing that you can put some organization together? Yes. But again, what really matters, again, show me your work ethic. How hard have you worked? Show me your references. Who can I call to find out how good you are at what you do? How you have worked through the process? What value you brought to the team? Be persistent. Don't be annoying, but be persistent. Really tough, fine line to walk. But again, it's part of the next one, which is situational awareness. Read the room. Look around, anticipate what somebody's going to need, anticipate when it's time to talk, when it's time to shut up, have some situational awareness. That is maybe one of the most underrated traits that people have, both scouts on the road, scouts in a building, anybody in a football building. Have some situational awareness about when to talk, when not to talk, and what to do. Again, read the room and have a willingness to say yes. It may be a job that you don't want. It may be a job that is, we'll say, underneath you, or something that you've already done. Again, a willingness to say yes to anything that you can do. Again, airport runs, picking people up. Again, for me, sometimes it was taking an RV and getting the crapper dumped, because again, that was a big part of somebody in our building's lifestyle. Again, you got to go take the RV over and get it cleaned out before it goes on a road trip. Say yes to whatever you can, add value to whatever you can, and then use those relationships, all the networking, everything you do next week. If you can make that Recruiting and Personnel Symposium, do it. If you can't make it, again, find a way to connect. Again, we have lots of ways. We have social media. We have connections. We know people that know people. Use your connections. Get on the phone once a month, once every other month. Hey, you're going to be driving for a couple hours. Just find a way to connect with people in the right way. Have some situational awareness. Keep doing the right things along the way. It will hopefully eventually lead to an opportunity. Again, it is a timing game along with everything else. All the things have to line up. But again, if you're doing the right things, you got to have some faith, got to have some hope that will all work out. So use the time, enjoy it, network, connect. If you're making the trip to Nashville, make it worth it. come find me. I'll see you there. Make sure you go over, follow me on X, hit me a DM if you have questions about networking, connecting in Nashville. Hit me there. Find Neil as well. He is at Inside the League. Follow us at pro_FB_insiders. And in everything you do, keep scouting.